Hi, this is Steve Scott, the Houston Business Coach, and thank you for joining me. Today's story centers around a concept. Distorted values can lead to tragedy. Distorted values can obviously lead to unhappiness. If we have a preoccupation with something to the excess, then we end up neglecting other things. And this is the story of King Midas, and many of you have probably heard this, but King Midas was infatuated with gold. And matter of fact, every day what he'd do is he would count his gold. And one day as he was counting his gold, a stranger came upon him and said, "I will grant you one wish. What would you like that to be?" King Midas didn't even have to think about it. He said, "I wish that everything I touch will turn to gold." And the stranger said, "Well, the next morning when the sun rays hit, everything you touch will turn to gold." So the next morning King Midas got up, he touched his bed, it turned to gold. And then he decided to go read a book, and it turned to gold when he touched it. And he saw his daughter out there playing, and he wanted to go give her a hug, but first he decided to eat some breakfast. And when he went to eat breakfast, the water he touched turned to gold, and so did the fruit. And he was becoming very, very unhappy. At that moment, his daughter ran in, he gave her a hug, and she turned into a gold statue. Now he was absolutely miserable. He was just so unhappy, and he was crying. And the stranger reappeared and said to him, he said, "How is it going?" And he said, "I'm absolutely miserable. I want to change this." And the stranger said, "Obviously you've gained some wisdom. I will grant your wish. Because would you rather have your daughter and the relationships and the people, or would you rather have your gold? I think you've learned something." So from that point on, Midas knew what was very, very important. And he lived his life afterwards not so focused on gold, because he said he'd give up all the gold in the world if he could only have his daughter back. Because the most important thing was to have her love and to have the relationship with her. So what we want to do very often when we run business, we start looking at our business as if it were the gold, so to speak, that Midas was looking at. And we become so consumed by it that we leave other things out. And when we leave other things out, they will jump up and bite us. So make a list of what's really important to you and start addressing it. Because one of the things I see so often in small businesses, we do get distorted values. And it can lead to tragedy, or at least unhappiness. As Warren Buffett once said, success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. Are you wanting what you get? This is Steve Scott, the Houston Business Coach, and thank you for joining me. If you'd like to learn some things about how to gain perspective to move your business and life forward, check out the website listed below at www.businesskeystosuccess.com. Look forward to meeting you on the other side.